Shabbat Shalom. Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you here at Ahavat Shalom and in our sanctuary. Baruchim Habaim. Welcome to all of you who are watching the live stream from the comfort of your home or wherever you are. I'm Rabbi Matt Berger. I'm joined on the bima with our soloist, Allison Rosoff, down at the piano, Joy Katzen-Guthrie. Tonight we welcome our legacy donors who have generously made pledges to the Rabbi Gary Klein Lador Vidor Endowment Fund. You'll hear from a few of them throughout the evening. On this Shabbat service, we also celebrate Israel, our Jewish homeland, on the occasion of her 76th anniversary in both prayer and song. And in this spirit, we'll sing Shlomo Carlebach's arrangement of Am Yisrael Chai, the people and the Jews still live. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 O Davinu Chai, O Davinu Chai, O Davinu, O Davinu, O Davinu Chai, O Davinu Chai, O Davinu Chai, O Davinu, O Davinu, O Davinu Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael 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 Chai. O Davinu Chai, O Davinu, O Davinu, O Davinu, O Davinu Chai, O Davinu Chai, O Davinu Chai, O Davinu, O Davinu, O Davinu Chai. I'd like to invite any ladies who'd like to send the bima to help us with the lighting of the Shabbat candles and the blessing, the bracha, which you'll find on page 2. Feel free to come forward while we sing Light These Lights.
Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say
So Yasher Koach, well done for helping us light the candles and singing along so beautifully. Shabbat Shalom to each of you. Please join me in a prayer for Israel as well as her military and for captives. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. May you bless the soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces and all who stand guard to protect our people. Shield them from all troubles and injury. Help them secure freedom without loss of life for all those held captive by the enemy. May they have strength and courage of heart. On the next two slides, you'll find a beautiful Hebrew text and transliteration of a song called Ani ve'ata, which means you and I will change the world. It was written by a songwriting duo for a number of years, Eric Einstein, who penned the text, and Mickey Gavrilov. They did a number of albums together in the 1970s. So if you're familiar with it, please join us in song. נשנה את העולם אני ואתה אז יבואו כבר כולם אמרו את זה קודם לפניי זה לא משנה אני ואתה נשנה את העולם אני ואתה ננסה מההתחלה יהיה לנו רע אין דבר זה לא נורא אמרו את זה קודם לפניי זה לא משנה אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. You and I will change the world. You and I then all will join us. We'll continue on page 26 with the words of the half or Chatzi Kaddish, words of praise.
יתקדש ויתקדש שמי רבה בימד יברח יותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן ישמע רבה מברך לעולם עולם ימיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר וירומן ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירם בעמה ואמרו אמן.
And they came just in time. It's my pleasure to invite David and Melissa Bernstein to share a testimonial about their giving. Thank you so much for coming up, and sorry it's a little bit short notice.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat Shalom. For those of you who know me, or don't, I grew up in a conservative synagogue on Long Island, and I was bred to be part of the Jewish community, and it's in my roots. And I would think of my life no other way. In 1984, when I finished my studies and I moved to Palm Harbor, the first thing that my wife and I did was establish ourselves in the Jewish community and join Temple Ahavat Shalom. We've been members in a devoted way ever since. Chad and Jake were bar mitzvahed here. We consider this our Jewish existence and our tribe.
I have always been engaged in Jewish life from my upbringing in Buffalo, New York, then in Clearwater at Beth Shalom, where my children were bar mitzvahed and bar and bat mitzvahed. Since 2007, I have been a committed part of TAS, along with David, and we will continue to be faithful to its future. David and I are fully vested in the long-term existence of a Jewish community in Palm Harbor. We are proud to be part of the Legacy program, having included TAS in our estate planning. The Legacy program is a meaningful way to keep giving after our passing. Vador, Vador.
Thank you for your beautiful testimonial and the gifts that you bring to our congregation. We're going to rise now for the second part of our service, Shema and its blessings. You'll find the words to the call to prayer, the Baruch Hu, on page 28. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Baruchu et Adonai, Amivorah. Baruchu et Adonai, Amivorah. Baruch Adonai Hamorah, Elam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamorah, Leolam Va'ed. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Please join me a prayer for the evening Ma'ariv on page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai. Ma'ariv Aravim. Words of love, Ahavat Olam, are found on 33. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works in the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Sing, open up our eyes together.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one, and we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vayed. Feel free to be seated. Let's continue chanting the words of the Shema, also known as the V'ahavta, Shalav Adonai, with all of your heart, soul, and might, on page 36. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'vlechtecha v'derech u'shokpecha u'kumecha u'kshartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'ftavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru v'aseitem ekol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem Eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. Join me with words of truth and faith, Emet ve'emunah, on 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we are taught, for wherever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. There is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together as we sing Mi Chamocha, who is like you.
Oh
Praise are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. And for a land that surely needs protection at this time, we offer words of protection not only for Israel, but for our community as well, the words of Hashkivenu on page 42. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom. Amidenu Shomreinu L'chaim.
Rose Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, Rose Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha.
Shelter us between thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Blessed are you, God, guardian of Israel, shelter of priests is spread over us, Israel and Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom aleinu, Kol Amo Yisrael, Ve'al Yerushalayim. My pleasure now to call Paula Rosoff, our temple president, forward. Who'll be sharing some words with you as well.
Thank you, Rabbi. Good evening and Shabbat Shalom. I thought of so many different things to say, but I didn't want to be long-winded. So just briefly, I've been a member here for almost 48 years, a dues-paying member for almost 48 years now. And I realized at some point that one of these days, God willing, many years from now, I'll no longer be here and be able to contribute that kind of money to Temple of Ad Shalom. But through the endowment fund, by being a Legacy Society member, I can help ensure that our doors will remain open and be a loving, caring, Reformed Jewish presence here in North Pinellas that's so desperately needed now and will be in the future. And that's what the endowment fund does. It helps to ensure that financially we'll be able to be our loving, Reformed Jewish presence here in North Pinellas County. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much for those beautiful words. That is a long time, 48 years. And our congregation next year is going to be celebrating its 50th. So she was among the earlier members of our contribution. God continue to bless you as well as the Bernsteins. We will continue now with the words of our standing prayers, the Amidah, which begin on page 46. I'll ask us all to rise as we ask God to open our lips in praise.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agir tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל, אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מחלחל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומחיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעלו סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Feel free to be seated. And we'll continue with the Emsaot, blessings 4, 5, and 6, beginning with a prayer for the holiness of Shabbat, a day separate and apart on 55. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat, words of prayer called avodah in Hebrew, found on the bottom of 56. Baruch atah Adonai HaMachazir Shechinato L'Tzion, meaning blessed are you, God, whose presence returns to Zion. And sharing words of gratitude, Israel's 76th anniversary, you'll find the prayer of Hoda'ah, of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha u'chana'eh lechodot. And the final prayer of the Amidah on page 60 is always for peace. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people forever, for you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Baruch atah Adonai hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. So now on the screen, we are going to be singing a wonderful and classic Israeli song called Al Kol Eile, for these things, the honey and the bee sting, the bitter and the sweet, all the things which join as one to make our lives complete. Naomi Shemer, very well-known Israeli singer, songwriter, put the arrangement and text together.
על הדבש ועל העוקץ, על המר והמתוק, על ביתנו התינוקת שמור לי הטוב, על האש המבודדת, על המים הזכים, על האש ששב הביתה מן המרחקים. על כל אלה, על כל אלה, שמור לי אלי הטוב, תשכח את התקווה, השיבני ונשובה אל הארץ הטובה.
For the honey and the bee sing, for the bitter and the sweet.
All the things we join as one to make our lives complete.
For the future of our children, for our prayers will never cease. For the hope that with tomorrow comes a world of peace.
הכל אלה, הכל אלה, שמונה לי אלי הטוב, על הדבש ועל העוקץ, על המר והמתוק, על הכל נטוע, אל תשכח התקווה, השיבני ונשובה אל הארץ הטובה.
Pleasure at this time to call forward our immediate past president, Ed Marks, who will share about the endowment fund and its meaning.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'd like to start by asking all of the current legacy members to please stand up and let the rest of us give you a round of applause. These are the people who spoke first when we announced formation of the Gary Klein Lador Bador Legacy Endowment here at Temple Ahavat Shalom. You can be seated now. Over the past few years, they've signed commitments that after life, at least X number of dollars will be delivered to the congregation to provide a base for the future. That's what an endowment is. It's a fund to be held intact by the temple with only income and a limited portion of the fund available to be spent in a given year. It's a financial base for Temple Ahavat Shalom. Just as the family investments are a base for the family's future, for college, for whatever may come up. Our congregation has never had such an endowment in the past until this was formed. It's easy for anyone to join. We have two forms. I brought them up. One is a letter of intent. That's the commitment form. That's where you say, I'm going to do it. The second one is a confirmation form, which says I've done it. I've made a change in one of the documents that leads my life in order to leave that money to the temple at the end. It gives the temple a hint as to who to contact and where to look for that gift when the time comes. The gift can be either in the form of a number of dollars or a percentage of an estate or a portion of the estate. It's pretty doggone simple, frankly, but there are some misconceptions. And I want to go over some of these misconceptions to set them aside. Number one, I have to be rich to take part. Not true. We'll meet with anyone, and we will accept these contributions because for somebody who can't afford more, a small contribution is just as big as for somebody who can afford more and gives more. Number two, misconception number two, the fund is to raise money for Rabbi Klein. No. We named it after Rabbi Klein, but some people got the impression that because it happened just before he retired, that was its purpose. Not so. Number 3, I have to pay my pledge right away. No, as a matter of fact, we're not expecting that. One of the attractive features is that we're only asking for a current commitment that your pledge will be paid after life. Some people do pay during their life. Number 4, Rabbi Berger will come to your home twice a week and wash your car. Not going to happen. And wax it once a month, I'm sorry. Number 5, my children will be saddled with this debt. No, it's not for your children. You're not committing for them. What you're doing is paying from your assets, not theirs. Number 5, it has to come from the probate estate. Well, one of the really neat aspects of all this is that you can fund it in one of many ways. Number 1, for example, it can come from your estate or trust. 2, you can purchase a life insurance policy in that amount and make it payable to the temple. 3, it can come from your IRA or other retirement fund. 4, you can set up a payable on death account at a bank or investment house. 6, you can direct your executor or trustee to transfer investments on death to cover the pledge. And of course, as I've said, if you want to pay it during your life, we accept that. Another misconception, I have to hire an attorney to draw up expensive documents. Not true. Many of these tools can be done by you just going to the bank or sitting down with one of us and we'll help you. Here's a big one. The board is going to use the endowment to balance the budget when income doesn't cover expenses. No, we're not doing that. That's a mistake that some synagogues and churches have gotten into. The rules which were adopted by the board specifically prohibit that. The rules say that at the beginning of the year, as part of the budgeting process, we'll determine whether we're going to take some portion of the fund in the coming year. But nothing is going to be taken until we have $1 million in hand, and we're not there. This is a fund to be saved. It's for our children, it's for our grandchildren, it's for our great-grandchildren. It's for the future of Temple Ahavat Shalom. We invite you to call. You can either corner me at the Oneg, or call me at any time. Call Paula at any time, or call Kara in the Temple office, and we'll set up an appointment. We'll come over to your home. We've got these nice-looking folders, and we'll be happy to go over the options with you, answer your questions. Thank you very much. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Ed, for sharing that all-important information and ways that the legacy of this congregation can continue. Back to the service, we'll turn to the words of Misha Berach, our prayer of healing, which you'll find on page 253, as we call to mind individuals in our congregation and beyond who are in need of strength and courage at this time. Joanne Beeman Fiddleman, Yonatan Ruven Ben Rivka, Charlie Burke, Tina Bruns, Paul Devaney, Norman Fiddleman, Sue Fischelo, Harry Fleisch, Michelle Green Freed, Mitchell Freifeld, David Friedlander, Jim Howard, Kathy Howard, Phyllis King, Deborah Kramer, Dave Lawrence, Joan Lawrence, Jonathan Marks, Tova Marks, Ken Mercero, Jory O'Day Williams, Brian Perlman, Barbara Randall, Stephen Randall, Michael Ranzino, Miriam Richmond, Stephanie Ross, Marty Satinoff, Carol Spani, Dennis Schulman, Angie Sermenis, Jeff Stark, and Joyce Tucker. If there are other names to add, feel free.
My father, George Stark, Cookie Lopez. Mishe Berach Avotenu
מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Way back in the time of the Garden of Eden, which may have looked something like the image our text team is going to put on the screen, Adam often wandered the fields until late in the evening. After doing this for some nights in a row, Eve became curious and asked her helpmate, "So tell me, Adam, why are you always out so late? Are you just getting some fresh air, or is there something else that you're doing that you don't want me knowing about?" "Oh, Eve," Adam said, "there's nothing to worry about. The walks just clear my head. You're the only woman for me. In fact, you're the only woman on earth." This, of course, is a very sound argument, but for whatever reason, Eve wasn't buying it. She wasn't satisfied with the answer. In fact, it kept her up all night. Adam eventually went to sleep, only to be awakened hours later by a feeling that he was being poked and prodded in the chest. It was Eve. Turning toward her, Adam cried out, "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" Eve answered, "Oh, I'm just counting your ribs." Now, I didn't expect you to be rolling in the aisles on that one, because in order to get it, you need some pretty specific Torah knowledge from the opening chapters of Genesis, where we read not one, but two creation stories. In the first, God creates habitable space and fills it with plants, heavenly lights, sea and sky creatures, animals and human, male and female, together at the end. While in the second, God forms Adam from the dust of the earth, that's the meaning of Adam. Then, after creating plant life and animals as his helpers, it becomes clear that something, or in this case, someone, is missing. God then takes a bone out of Eve's side, some people say a rib, and fashions the first woman, Eve, out of it. The Hebrew phrase for this is etzem me atzmi, usually translated as bone of my bones. And the rest of the verse, flesh of my flesh. And this is how you get the joke about Eve counting Adam's rib to see if there are any other women roaming around in Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden. Now, you might be interested to know that there's a unique connection between the Hebrew word for bone, which is etzem, and independence, which is atzmaut. This week, Jews around the world have been celebrating Israel Independence Day, called Yom HaAtzmaut in our holy language. If you listen to these words side by side, etzem, bone, and atzmaut, independence, they sound very familiar. So why is this? It's because they share the same three-letter Hebrew root. When Eve was created, she became a separate, individual person. And on May 14th, 1948, Israel became a separate, independent nation. Now, if this weren't enough, the connection between bones and independence runs even deeper than that. In the book of Ezekiel, the prophet describes an absolutely unbelievable vision of a valley of dry bones. I didn't put a picture on it because, you don't necessarily want to see that. But I will show you this, which our tech team will throw on the screen. It's an artistic interpretation of what the valley might have looked at. Many congregations read this very passage as their Haftarah portion during the Shabbat that falls in the intermediate days of the holiday. Countless sermons and at least a few songs have been written about these dry bones. In this portion, Ezekiel sees the dry bones rise up from out of the ground. Then these bones are covered with muscles and skin and clothing. Then these newly resurrected Jews march toward the land of Israel. It's the biblical take on the ingathering of the exiles. In a way, this mirrors the experience of the nascent state of Israel. Israel was formed just a few years after our sorrowful experiences in the Holocaust. Then in 1948, the Jews of Israel and throughout the world celebrated its independence with exhilaration. Since that time, there has been a true ingathering of the exiles, and Israel has become a proud and populous country, in many ways a nation among nations. In essence, this was a journey from darkness to light. But even with the passage of 76 years, it can be said that the War of Independence hasn't fully come to an end. Today, Israel's fighting Hamas, the Nazis of our generation. And indeed, the war in Gaza is one that pits the forces of light against the forces of darkness. Because of this, the festivities surrounding Israel Independence Day this particular year have been more subdued. Or to put it another way, instead of having 76 trombones blaring away joyfully, as in the famous song from the Music Man, many of these horns likely have mutes on their bells. To be sure, there are still picnics, bonfires, and barbecues, classic pastimes in Israel to celebrate the holiday. And Israelis are still living their lives and going about their business. At the same time, however, there's an undercurrent of sadness, anxiety, and trauma, which was confirmed after speaking to Joel Chasnoff, the Israeli-American writer and comedian who spoke at our congregation 4 nights ago. A wonderful evening filled with great humor. That's why, especially this year, it's so important to continue gathering together as a Jewish community, to offer support to one another, to keep tikvah, a sense of hope, alive, and to show the world that Jewish life will not only persevere in the face of anti-Semitism, rather it will thrive. Just as we can mark the transition from darkness to light, it's always important that we count our blessings. Israel was, is, and will be a central feature of our Jewish experience, much like a synagogue or congregation is a central feature of our local Jewish experience. As you'll see in the image that our tech team will display on the screen, you'll have many people still gathering to celebrate, as Israel is our homeland, the source of so many of our foundational stories as a people, and remains the heartbeat of the Jewish nation. In the final lines of her poem, which referenced Americans, The Hill We Climb, Amanda Gordon urges each of us to realize there is always light if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. All of us have a role in creating a world where each of us is truly a light to the nations, a world in which we're proud to share our love of Judaism and Israel with others, where all of us, body and bones alike, celebrate its independence without any need for poking and prodding, like the joke about Eve and Adam. And in doing so, we will become and be among those who shed light and positivity whenever it's needed most. Shabbat Shalom and happy 76 Israel. We're going to continue, as we've been doing these past number of weeks, participating in a time-honored tradition that started in right after biblical times called Counting the Omer. The Omer is a sheaf or a dry measure of barley grain, about 3-ish pounds or so, that was given at the Jerusalem temple. Now we just count or make a spiritual ascent from the second day of Passover, freedom, 7 weeks of 7 days, and then the 50th day is Shavuot, where we celebrate the receiving of Torah. I'm going to change our little Omer counter. It's a beautiful one if you'd like to see it after services, which has little slots for the days and little slots for the weeks. On the screen, as well as on page 278, you'll find the service for counting the Omer, if you'd like to join me. Hineni muchan umzuman l'kayem mitzvat aseh shel sfirat Omer. I'm ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. And here's the bracha, the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha-Omer. Praise to you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to count the Omer. And I will fill in the blanks. Hayom chamisha ve'esrim yom, shehem shlosha shavuot v'arba'a yamim la'Omer. Today is the 25th day, which is 3 weeks and 4 days of the Omer. Before we continue with Aleinu, I would love to invite all of the legacy donors who are here to join Allison and I on the bima for a very special blessing. What a crew. Thank you so much for coming up to the bima. We'll wait, and there's some few people there. It might be almost equal amount of people. But it's a great, great crowd. Good evening and Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We learn in the book of Exodus that God spoke to Moses saying, "Speak to Bnei Israel, the children of Israel, from every person who is moved by generosity of the heart, accept gifts for me." We celebrate this legacy of Yidvenu Libo, those moved by the generosity of their heart and free will, to build our first holy communal structure, the Mishkan, or tabernacle. Back then, the Israelites gave gold, silver, copper, colorful yarns, and the finest woods. Today, this evening, we recognize the gifts that you have pledged from your hearts. Both your volunteer time as well as your resources to endow the future of our Jewish community and the congregation that we cherish. We call you Nidivim, those who are generous and kind. We respect you as Nidvei Amo, those who are leaders within our community. And we offer thanks to all those who sustain us, just as you give thanks to God for all of life's blessing. Baruch atah Adonai notein tormim ni'ivim. Blessed is God, giver of life and giver of generous givers, as we say. Amen. Thank you so much. But please stay up here, face the ark, and I think we'll be able to find two people to open the ark. Please rise for the Elenu 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Our service will continue with Mourner's Kaddish, words of praise, found on page 294, as we call to mind and to heart families in the period of Shloshim, first 30 days mourning their loved one. We think of Sam Grossman, father of Michelle Gordon, Marie D'Alessandro, mother of Deborah Arnold, and Sharon Worster, daughter of Betty Slavny. We also mark the yahrzeit anniversary of passing of loved ones who died during this season in years past. We remember Maya Barnett, Andrew Berger, William J. Blitman, Lenora Bookoff, Marilyn Citron, Yetta Eisman, William Glatt, Helene Horowitz, Ruth Lillian Kelton, Bruce David Kent, Judy Koch, Siegfried Lowen, Lori Roberts Mayville, Leona S. Maltz, Brina Mendelson, Samuel Miller, Eleanor Moskowitz, Al Resnick, Clara Rothman, Arlene Sanders, Etta Minna Satinoff, Beatrice Schreiber, Harvey Sharp, Samuel Spector, Fortuna Unger, Eleanor Wayne, Bernard Ward, and Dick Weber. Are there any other names to add for yahrzeit at this time? We say Zichronam Livracha, and the memories of all of these good people continue to be a source of blessing in their loved ones' lives as we rise to offer the words of Kaddish praise together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, b'yama divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael, b'agalav v'zman kariv imru, Yehei shmei rabba mevarach li'alam alam amaya, yitbarach v'yishabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal, shemei dekudashah b'rihu, Elam in kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yahei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Osei shalom b'mramav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael.
Amen.
The one who causes peace in the heavens, cause peace to descend on us, Israel, and throughout the world, as we say, Amen.
V'miru, 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 amen. V'miru, 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 amen.
Feel free to be seated. You'll find the words to the Shabbat Kiddush, blessing over the fruit of the vine, on page 5. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'yavahu v'ratzon, inhilanu, zikaron l'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehilah, l'mikra'e kodesh, Zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, Tivanu b'charta, Yotanu kidasha, Mikol ha'amim, V'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahavahu v'ratzon, inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. L'chaim, to life. Representing the next generation, any kids who are here, come on up. Unlike Price is Right, where it's come on down. This is come on up. Which is kind of making Aliyah. Not necessarily to Israel, but ascending the Bima. Nice outfit. Join us in the Motzi. Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Say b'te'avon, which means enjoy. Pleasure to invite Paula Rosoff to the Bema once again to share some important Shabbat announcements.
Shabbat Shalom again. Many thanks to Rabbi Matt, Allison, Joy, and Joy for leading a wonderful Shabbat service, along with our tech team, Bruce and Saul, and our greeters, Steve, Sophia, and Judy. Mazel Tov to Israel, our Jewish homeland, on its 76th anniversary. We thank our legacy donors who have given generously in support of our temple. Join us tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for our Shabbat Minyan led by Ron Gilberg. On Sunday, May 19th, the confirmation class of 2024 will lead services in the sanctuary. You are welcome to join us in person or by watching the live stream. The next Brotherhood Men's Night Out will be Thursday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. at Craft Street Kitchen and Drinks. Please RSVP using the Happenings link. There are congregants looking for rides to attend services. If you're interested in this mitzvah, please contact the office. Our sisterhood, in partnership with Hadassah, is collecting diapers and feminine hygiene products in the temple lobby through the end of May. Following the service, please join us for a special Oneg Shabbat in the social hall in honor of our generous legacy donors and Israel Independence Day. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Paula, so much. We will conclude with a wonderful song, music written by Nurit Hirsch, and Ehud Manor wrote the text. Next year in Jerusalem, Bashana Haba'ah. And the refrain in the chorus is, "You will yet see how good it is. It will be next year." And we say, Halavai, may it happen to that. Bashana Abaa Nishem HaMifeset V'Misfor V'Horim Nodedo Yeladim B'Kusha Yisachachu Tofeset Bein HaBayit Levein HaSadot O Tireh Kama Tov Yeh Bashana Abaa O Tireh Kama Tov Yeh Bashana Abaa Anavim Adumim Yivshilu Ha'erev Yushu Tehunim Todom Berupot Umid Yisun HaDerech Shanim Dan O Tireh Kama Tov Yeh Bashana Abaa O Tireh Kama Tov Yeh Bashana Abaa. Next year in Jerusalem. Shabbat Shalom. Please join us in the social hall.
True. That doesn't.
So maybe, but I think I'll get really good.
Unfortunately, there are people who don't play by the rules.
When have they ever played by the rules?
That's the unfortunate part. For now. That's why they're terrorists.